Assalamu alaikum. Hello people, I hope you're fine. Alhamdulillah, on my side I'm fine. So I know I haven't uploaded videos for almost a week now, and that is because I have exams and I'm still having them even this coming week. But then I just didn't want to break the consistency, even though I already did, but I wanted to make it to make up for it, you know. So there's something I learned from a friend. We were just having a real talk, and then my friend mentioned something that I personally used to think that it was unjust. I used to think that it was not okay, and I used to complain so much about this. But then when my friend talked about this, I felt like, okay, so this is something that I really thought it was actually wrong, and I really complained about it, but then it was a blessing. It was actually a blessing. So today I want to share with you this story, and from this story then we are going to derive the lesson that I learned from it. Let's give my friend a name. So we'll call her Mariam, and if it was a guy, we'd call him Sleiman. For no biased reasons, these are just names that came out of my mind. Yeah. And if this person was a Christian, yeah, we'd call them Christian. And if they were a guy and a Christian, we'd call them Christopher. Yeah. So yeah, and you can also give this character your own name, but the main goal is just to hear the story out. So yeah, this character we have just named was narrating the story, and she mentioned to me that sometimes her dad just asks like how old she is, and this kind of makes her feel like, okay, you're my parents and you don't even know how old I am. And I'm sure we also have some parents who don't even know whether we are in the first year in uni, or for those who are below that, like they just don't know your academic lifestyle, but they're just your parents, you know. And this doesn't mean that they don't care about you. They really care about you, but I don't know what happens. But this happens a lot in our homes. Yeah, where we have parents who don't even know our date of birth. It's really funny. And we have parents who don't even know, maybe even they don't even know the school we are going, the amount of school fees we are paying. Those small things that mean a lot to us, some of our parents do not really know about them because they don't follow up with our life. They don't, can I say they don't find it important? But I think based on how they were raised, some of these things are not just important to know. But when we are sick, they attend to us. Some of those essential things we need, they always provide. But then some of these little things that we see fathers doing for their daughters and sons in movies do not just exist with our parents. So my friend was telling me that, you know, I have come to realize that actually our parents not following through our every detail in our life is actually a blessing, because you get to do what you really want to do without any intervention or anyone coming through, like trying to know every bit of your life. Okay, it's not bad, but we have parents who are really toxic in terms of this. Like they are too paranoid, they are overprotective, and because of that we don't get to do what we really want. So my friend was telling me that actually if parents don't follow through your life, it's actually a blessing. Something that I used to complain about. I was like, okay, if you have a parent and they don't know some of these finer details, then it's not actually good. And this is perhaps because of the kind of parents we see in movies, in soap operas. We see parents that would buy birthday gifts for their children. I know there are parents who do this, but majority of us don't have this kind of parents who, they know your favorite color, they know your favorite cloth, like they know these small things that really matter to you. But we have parents who don't even know us, like they have no idea what we are, what we do outside here. They have no idea, but they really care about us. So we went ahead with the session, and my friend was telling me the reasons as to why she thinks when parents don't care, it's actually a blessing. And she gave me an example of academics. You didn't do good or you didn't do well in your exams, and then if you had parents that were so paranoid, perhaps they'll be like, I'm spending a lot of money on you and you didn't do well in your exams, this and this and that. So it becomes chaotic, you know, and you might lose your mind. You might feel like, okay, you might feel really bad about it and feel so guilty. Yeah, this helps sometimes, but sometimes it really doesn't help. But then when you have parents that are partially caring. I mean, they are there when you truly need them, but they are not there when it's not truly necessary, according to how they define necessary. So you didn't do well in your exams and you're the one in charge. So you can just call yourself for a meeting and say, hey, you didn't do well in this exam because of 1, 2, 3, but then you need to avoid these things so that next time you can do well. Remember, your transcript shows what you were doing in uni. You had all this time, but you wasted it. As in, when you are in charge of your life, you can make changes at any moment without somebody pressurizing you, you know. And this actually made me realize that it's actually a blessing. And another thing is, for example, you have parents who nosy. It's their responsibility, but let's say they are over nosy or they are too protective or paranoid, and then maybe you just want to go and study with other girls or with other guys, or even go for prayers, or even go to the shop. Some of our paranoid parents would want to know even when you're going to the shop. You know, you have to call them and tell them, Mom, Dad, I'm going to the shop, so that in case anything happens, you just know that I was going to the shop. Of course, this is not bad. Telling your parents everything is not bad, but then you just don't have that freedom. As long as you know something is right, you know it's right, and as long as it's not so much of a big deal, it's not a big deal. But then when you have parents that are paranoid and always on you, sometimes it makes you feel limited. It makes you limit yourself according to what you have to do. Of course, I'm assuming you have a good mind. I'm assuming you are a responsible adult. Yeah. So yeah, having parents that are always on your nose might not, yeah, be a good idea. But then it's also a good idea having parents that are always caring. But we have parents who are caring, but they give you some space to do what you want. You have ideas, you sit down and tell them, I have this idea, and they support you. But then we have these ones who they are over caring or paranoid to an extent that when you tell them something, they're like, please don't do that. I'm afraid you might fail. I'm afraid of what society is going to say about this. Like, they are always pumping negativity. But according to them, that is how parenting should be. That is how you should behave. That is how your life should be. So next time you think that your parents don't really care about you, you should know that they truly care, but they are doing that because they want you to have the freedom of adulthood. They trust in you. They know that you're going to be responsible. They know that you won't disappoint them. They know that you're going to do the right thing no matter what is happening in your life. So don't disappoint your parents. And that goes to me as well. Our parents rely on us. They know that we are never going to disappoint them. They know that we are always doing the right thing. So yeah, it's not just about parents. Perhaps maybe somebody lost their parents, but then you have elder sisters, elder brothers who provide the basic, but they are not so much caring. They probably don't even know what you're up to. They don't know your favorite game. They don't know your favorite color. They know nothing about your personal life, but they will be there whenever you need them, whenever you're sick, whenever you need something really urgent. They will walk into your life, but there are these small things that really matter to us that don't matter to them. And that is totally okay, because it depends on how they were raised. For instance, if we become parents, if we become big sisters or elder brothers, we are going to consider some of these things. We are going to find out what my sister wants, what my brother likes. Yeah, we are not going to be like them, obviously, but then we just have to accept and see it as a blessing rather than seeing it as as something that is unjust, as an act of irresponsibility. Yeah. So guys, that is all I learned, and it really changed on my mind based on whatever on this issue, and I regarded this as a blessing and not a bad thing at all. Yeah. So it always depends on how we see things. It always depends on how we label things. That is going to determine our level of happiness in our lives. It's going to determine our status of joy. Yeah, if we choose to complain and see it as a disgrace, it's going to be that way. It's going to be that way, and we are never going to be thankful about the other things that we do just because our parents are not too nosy or paranoid. Thank you so much for watching. If you relate to this content in any way, please drop a comment. Thank you so much for watching. If you relate to this content in any way, please drop a comment. Remember, your comments mean so much to me. Like, they make me know that people are really following my content, and they are not just following, but they are relating to it and they are benefiting from it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Bring in more subscribers, support a sister, drop the likes, drop the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and ma salam.